Multiple tangos at the east wing.
Crysis 3 has been publicly released in its beta testing phase. Now I'm well aware that everything in the beta is subject to change. Regardless of that, here's what you can expect from the Crysis 3 beta. The graphics are insanely good. Once again, Crysis has shown its superiority in the visuals department. Now of course I'm playing the PC version. I can't deal with anything lower than 60 frames per second in a first person shooter. So far the game is rumored to only support DirectX 11 cards. If you don't have a GPU that does not support DX11, then it's time to upgrade.
Hunt and kill the cells.
Hunter mode is awesome. This game mode is definitely not one-sided, such as the hunters always have the upper hand. In this game mode, it's the hunters against the surviving cell operatives. As you might have guessed, hunters have access to a nanosuit which supports unlimited cloaking as well as enhanced speed, no fall damage, and always active radar and the predator bow. The objective for the hunters is to eliminate all cell operatives. As you might have guessed, the objective for the cell operatives is to survive the hunter assault. If a cell operative is killed by a hunter, that operative becomes a hunter. In many game modes that focus on PvP survival, usually the zombies or hunters have the upper hand. In this, however, as long as the operatives set up a proper defense, they should be able to survive the hordes of hunters. The operatives also have access to shields, sniper rifles, shotguns, EMP grenades, and the overwhelmingly awesome Typhoon submachine gun, a gun that fires 500 rounds per second.
60 seconds left, take them out!
Incoming!
Stay!
I'm getting reading!
2 cells to go.
There's firing on me!
The game mode Crash Site has CEPH weapons. What I mean by this is that you're likely to find a CEPH weapon if you know where to look. These weapons can be devastating, and yet it puts the user at a disadvantage as well. These weapons will slow you down and reduce your jump height. They also have very limited ammunition. Nonetheless, these weapons are awesome to use, and it does much higher damage in comparison to the normal human weapons. Vehicles have made their way into the Crysis 3 beta. So far we haven't seen any tanks or ground-based troop transports. What we have seen so far is the CEPH Stinger and a VTOL armed with heavy machine guns at both sides, similar to the Black Hawk helicopter. The VTOL acts as a mode of transport around the map, as well as a way to provide heavy suppressive fire due to the heavy machine gun mounts. The Pinger is a heavy combat walker armed with energy cannons, turrets, and the ping, which sends a shockwave around the Pinger. Armor mode and cloaking no longer share the same energy. Instead, they have separate energy bars, one for cloaking and one for armor mode. If you take damage while cloaked, it will drain both bars. Power jumps and sprinting no longer take any energy, making movement more fluid and unrestricted. Killstreak rewards make a return in Crysis 3's multiplayer. I'm well aware that this is mostly opinion based, but it's my opinion that having killstreaks in a Crysis game is bad. I can't help but feel as though Crysis multiplayer is becoming more and more of a Call of Duty clone. Yes, I'm well aware that making a comparison between any shooter and Call of Duty is heavily looked down upon, but that's the reality of the situation. What happened to the original Crysis multiplayer? It's become a Twitch shooter rather than a shooter that requires some level of skill and strategy. Small maps are back. Now since this is a beta and has a very restricted array of maps, I'm willing to hope that the final game may have larger maps. However, since this review is focused on the beta, I can confidently say that the maps in the beta are crap. Not in terms of map design, but rather the scale of the map. Why do the maps have to be so small? What happened to the large maps that we've seen in the original Crysis and Crysis Wars? If anything, please include some large maps in the final release of Crysis 3.
Fall back.
Weapon customization is unlocked through the weapons level. Once again, why? Attachments are purely based on opinion. A player may prefer a 4x scope and another may prefer a red dot sight. Either way, both players will end up having to unlock their weapons by progressing the weapons level. Just a poor excuse to get the player to continue playing their game. There are levels to each perk. This will handicap new players. As a perk's level increases, so does its benefits. Due to this, newer players will be stuck with perks that have moderate alterations on gameplay, whereas older players will have perks which will give them huge benefits and advantages. This isn't exactly a game that requires tactics or strategy, just sheer reaction time and accuracy, so there's no other way around it. The Crysis 3 beta is a bit of a hit and miss for me. In terms of gameplay and visuals, it's great. Is this a step up from the original Crysis 2 multiplayer? No. Instead, it's a polished version of Crysis 2's multiplayer. For everyone that's looking for a Crysis 1 multiplayer experience, do not look here. Crysis 3's multiplayer is just another attempt to attract more of the mainstream first-person shooter audience, with a few more attempts to make the game unique. We can't exactly judge the game based on the beta, so for now, here's a summary of the multiplayer beta for Crysis 3.
Mission was successful. Good work. Take it up again.